Imagine this for a moment. There is something incredibly simple, almost invisible, that nearly every man overlooks. It isn't flashy, it isn't loud, it doesn't require money, status, or perfect genetics. Yet when a man finally understands it and lives by it, something shifts. It's as if a hidden switch flips, not just in the minds of women, but in the atmosphere around him. He walks into a room, and the room feels different. The strange part: most men will go their entire lives without ever discovering this. Are you one of them? If you're still here, chances are you don't want to be part of that majority. You don't want surface-level tricks. You don't want manipulative lines or temporary boosts of confidence. You want something deeper, something foundational, something that changes how you show up in the world and how the world responds to you. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Marcus. On the surface, he was ordinary. Average job, average appearance, no extraordinary talent. Like many men, he lived quietly with a constant hum of insecurity beneath everything he did. He worried about what people thought. He replayed conversations in his head. He chased approval in subtle ways, through jokes, through over-explaining, through trying to be the nice guy. He believed that if people liked him enough, if women approved of him enough, he would finally feel whole. But no matter how hard he tried, he felt invisible, especially around women. He would lean forward when they spoke, eager. He would agree too quickly. He would soften his opinions to avoid conflict, and the more he tried, the less they seemed to notice him. Not in a cruel way, just in a neutral, indifferent way. He wasn't rejected. He simply wasn't respected. One day, something shifted. Not because of a viral motivational clip. Not because of a dating coach promising 3 texts that guarantee attraction. It happened quietly. He stumbled across an ancient philosophy, Stoicism. At first, he dismissed it. What could a philosophy from centuries ago possibly teach him about modern relationships, about confidence, about attraction? But as he read deeper, something inside him began to rearrange. Stoicism teaches a core principle that is brutally simple. Control what you can control, and release what you cannot. Sit with that. Most men live the opposite way. They obsess over what they cannot control, how they're perceived, whether a woman texts back quickly, whether someone respects them, whether they're chosen, desired, admired. They build their emotional state on external reactions, and that is the root of weakness. The Stoic understands something different. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That sentence alone is a dividing line between the 99% and the 1%. Marcus began to test this idea. Instead of reacting immediately to everything, he paused. When a woman didn't respond to his message, he noticed the urge to double text and didn't act on it. When someone made a subtle jab at his expense, he felt the flicker of defensiveness and chose silence. When anxiety rose before a social gathering, he observed it rather than obeying it. For the first time in his life, he stopped trying to control outcomes. He started controlling himself, and that is the thing 99% of men don't do. They do not master their reactions, they are mastered by them. Look around. A rude comment ruins their entire day. A delayed reply triggers overthinking. A small rejection spirals into self-doubt. They speak impulsively. They defend themselves unnecessarily. They chase validation because they believe attention equals worth. Women notice this instantly, not consciously perhaps, but instinctively. Emotional instability feels unsafe, and attraction cannot grow in instability. Now imagine something different. Picture a loud room, emotions flying, people arguing, energy scattered everywhere. And then there's one man, calm, not passive, not detached, but centered. He listens more than he speaks. When he does speak, it is measured. When tension rises, he does not mirror it. He remains steady, like a mountain in a storm. That quiet strength draws attention without effort. He does not demand it. He does not chase it. He simply embodies it. This is the paradox. When you stop trying to impress, you become impressive. When you stop needing validation, you become valuable. Marcus didn't become louder. He didn't become flashy. He didn't adopt a persona. He removed the desperation. He stopped explaining himself to people who weren't asking genuine questions. He stopped trying to win every argument. He stopped bending his values to maintain temporary approval. Instead, he asked himself one question repeatedly. Does this deserve my energy? Most of the time, the answer was no. That question alone will change your life. Because attention is currency, and most men spend it recklessly. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It is not about becoming cold or robotic. It is about governing your internal world so that your external world cannot easily shake you. When you master your reactions, you send a silent signal. I am not easily moved. Women interpret that as safety, as maturity, as leadership. Not dominance, not aggression, stability. There is something deeply attractive about a man who does not crumble under minor pressure, a man who does not lash out when challenged, a man who does not plead for reassurance, a man who can sit in silence comfortably. Silence, in fact, becomes one of his greatest strengths. Most men rush to fill silence because they fear it. They talk too much, they explain too much. They reveal insecurity through overcompensation. The Stoic understands timing. He knows when to speak and when to let the moment breathe. That restraint creates tension, and tension creates intrigue. Marcus practiced this daily, not perfectly, but consistently. He trained himself to observe his impulses before acting on them. He treated his mind like a muscle. Every moment of restraint was a repetition. Every pause was strength training. Slowly, subtle changes occurred. People began listening more closely when he spoke. His words carried weight because he did not waste them. His presence felt grounded. He no longer laughed nervously to ease tension. He allowed conversations to settle naturally. Women noticed, not because he tried to be noticed, but because he was no longer trying at all. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most men hear this and do nothing. They enjoy the inspiration. They feel motivated for an hour. Then life triggers them and they revert to habit. Emotional reactivity feels natural because it is easy. Self-mastery feels unnatural because it requires effort. But discipline is the dividing line between mediocrity and strength. The Stoics believed that character is built in small, private moments, when no one is watching. When you choose not to respond to an insult. When you choose not to beg for attention. When you choose not to argue just to win. Each of those moments reinforces identity. You are teaching yourself who you are, and identity is more powerful than strategy. Attraction built on performance is fragile. Attraction built on character is durable. Marcus realized something else. He had spent years trying to be chosen. The Stoic mindset flipped that dynamic. Instead of asking, "Do they like me?" he began asking, "Do I respect this?" Instead of seeking validation, he evaluated alignment. That subtle shift changed everything. When a man evaluates instead of seeks, he moves differently. He speaks differently. He tolerates less nonsense. He invests more intentionally, and that energy is magnetic. Because neediness repels, self-possession attracts. Most men believe attraction is about adding something. Better clothes, better lines, better tactics. But often, it is about subtracting. Subtract desperation. Subtract impulsiveness. Subtract the constant need to prove. What remains is presence, and presence is rare. The world conditions men to react quickly. Social media amplifies outrage. Conversations reward loudness. Ego is constantly provoked. The Stoic resists this conditioning. He slows down. He thinks before he speaks. He refuses to let external chaos dictate his internal state. This doesn't make him passive. It makes him powerful. True power is the ability to remain composed when others cannot. Consider how rare that is. If someone criticizes you and you stay calm, you win. If someone tries to provoke you and you remain steady, you win. If someone withdraws attention and you do not chase, you win. Not because you defeated them, but because you governed yourself. And self-governance is the ultimate form of strength. Women are deeply perceptive when it comes to emotional stability. They feel the difference between a man who is centered and a man who is seeking approval. One feels grounded, the other feels hungry. Hunger is never attractive. Confidence, real confidence, is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't demand reassurance. It simply exists. Marcus stopped performing confidence. He built it internally, through discipline, through restraint, through daily practice of focusing only on what he could control. His thoughts, his words, his actions. Everything else he released. The irony is almost poetic. The less he tried to be impressive, the more impressive he became. The less he tried to hold on to outcomes, the more natural opportunities appeared. Not because the world changed, because he did. And that is the hidden switch. When you stop reacting impulsively, you create space. In that space, clarity grows. In that clarity, strength develops. And in that strength, attraction becomes effortless. This isn't about manipulation. It's about self-mastery. It's about becoming the type of man who is not easily shaken. Because life will test you. Relationships will test you. Disrespect will test you. Rejection will test you. The question is not whether you will face these things. The question is how you will respond. The 99% react, the 1% respond. Reaction is emotional, response is intentional. That distinction defines everything. If you want respect, not attention, not applause, but real respect, start here. When chaos appears, pause. When emotion rises, observe. When ego flares, question it. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, act calmly. If it isn't, release it. Practice this daily. Not for women, not for validation, for yourself. Because a man who governs himself cannot be easily governed by others. And that is rare. Before you move on from this, understand something. Knowledge without application is decoration. Inspiration without discipline is illusion. You can watch content like this endlessly and remain unchanged. Or you can decide, quietly, that today marks a shift. Not a loud announcement, not a dramatic transformation, a subtle commitment to master your reactions, to choose calm over chaos, to build internal stability in a world addicted to emotional volatility. That is the thing 99% of men never do. And it is exactly why the 1% stand out without trying. The real question is not whether women love it. They do. The real question is whether you are ready to live it.